the man himself, probably the foremost soul singer in the world today, Alexander We just thought we'd sneak you on quietly. Right, well, just to give you a bit of chance to get your breath, we'll have a quick look at a video of one of your past hits here. This is Fake.
But now it's day. Girl, you seem to change it every day. Your hair was long, but now it's short. You say I got it cut, but I don't see no hair on the floor. Whenever I go out with you, I find out something new. You're a fake, baby. You can't conceal it. Know how I know, 'cause I can feel it. You're a fake, baby.
Alexander O'Neal, Fake, and Alexander O'Neal, guest on the show tonight. Well, I should say welcome back to Britain, because you certainly took off here quite well last time round, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. You know, it's good to be back, though. You know, it always feels good to have a new product on the street, and with all the support of my loyal fans here. And
a lot of people, when they see you there, you know, dressed up nicely, a lot of people think that it all fell in your lap, this, but you actually came from a quite humble beginnings, didn't you? You were born in Mississippi. What was your childhood like?
We were, you know, I came from a relatively, you know, poor upbringing, you know, but we were very rich. My family was always taught us a lot about love, so we was very rich with love, you know, and, you know, it was a different upbringing, but I think I turned out okay.
How did coming from a poor background how does it affect you now?
It doesn't. But it makes me more humble, and it makes me really thankful for the things that I have accumulated over the years. And you know, my story is somewhat a saga. It's not only a success story, but it's a saga as well. It's like from Mississippi to stardom. You know, that's a long ways.
Now, most people over here associate Mississippi with segregation and racism and stuff like that. Is it still actually rife in that state?
I think that probably in the southern region of the states now, things have changed tremendously. People down there actually get along much better than they do in the north, at least when you're dealing with an issue like prejudice. One might want to know, you know, you want to keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So with those things in mind, you know, they do say it, you know, one thing about down south, you have no misunderstanding about where they're coming from. You know, if someone dislike you for any particular reason, you know, they make it known, unlike the north, where they kind of laugh in your face and kill you with the pen at the same time.
Did you ever suffer from any prejudice when you were growing up in that area?
Oh, yeah, of course, you know, but...
actually, I was trying to wangle an example out of it.
Well, actually, you know, prejudice, you know, it exists in our everyday lives, period, in one way or another. And I think that probably, regardless of how liberal we all might think that we are, you know, there has to be some prejudice towards something, at least if it's not in our subconscious somewhere. But, you know, I'm just thankful that, you know, I overcame all that, and it didn't, the prejudice that I had to deal with did not affect the way that I feel about life and the way that I feel about people. I think that this is God's earth, everything on it and in it, you know.
Now, when you were 22, you actually moved north to Minneapolis, and I believe you were involved with Prince for a while you were singing with a band called The Time.
Yeah.
And you actually fell out with him. What was that about?
Well, it was about, I was slated to be the lead vocalist for a group at that point in time. We started recording at Prince's house, and it was basically a black rock and roll band, you know, something like the Bus Boys or something. And he and I had some discrepancies in reference to the financial aspect of that venture. So, you know, my philosophies are very moronic, you know. A star without no money ain't about nothing.
Now, a lot of people would look at somebody like George Michael, who had almost instant success. Why do you think it took you 10 years to really make it?
5 years. No, that's okay. Don't leave. Well, you know, George, George Michaels is a great talent, in its own right. And I think that probably the system is set up differently, and especially as being a black artist, you have to, I think, the time, everything is all about timing, and for most black artists, it takes a longer time. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's not something that you have to, that's totally wrong. I think it applies to everybody. Color has nothing to do with it. You just have to really go out there and assert yourself and be the best that you possibly can. Go for your dreams, go for your goals, and don't be detoured, don't be stopped. And we have a tune on the new album entitled The Yoke. So take that yoke off your back. Change that yokish attitude. Now, I describe the word yoke and can't as the same thing, and I'm here to say, that the word can't doesn't have to prevail in anyone's life, because if Alexander O'Neal can start out with 0 from the ground floor, and I can be sitting here at the Word, London, England, with you today.
I know you are actually quite a strong influence on people, because there are certain people who actually imitate Alexander O'Neal. What do you think about those people?
I didn't know about that.
Well, we might have a surprise for you. Amanda?
Well, if you thought I was in Broadway, New York, you couldn't be more wrong, because I'm actually in Ealing Broadway. Now, Terry, I don't know who the guy sitting with you on the sofa is, because I thought I was interviewing Alexander O'Neal, because there's a guy playing live behind me who looks and sounds very like the real thing. Now, I don't know if he's just a very good impersonator, but it's time to find out, eh? He's certainly going down well here with everybody. Let's go and find out. What do you think of this singer here? What do you think of this singer?
Right.
Does it sound like Alexander O'Neal to you?
Yeah, a little bit, not much. So.
Oh, I think he sounds just like him. What about you?
He does.
Yeah, he's a good one, isn't he? Let's come through here. Hey, excuse me. What do you think of this singer up here?
Excellent, excellent.
What do you reckon? Who's better, Alexander O'Neal or him? It is Alexander O'Neal. Anyway, let's go and have a look. Excuse me. Oh. Hey, I can't have you serenading me, I'm a taken woman. I really am. Anyway, what's your name?
Keith.
And how long have you been doing this impersonation?
For about 8 months now.
How did you get into it?
Well, I first worked at the Broadway Boulevard.
Shut up!
And the DJ pulled me out, said to me, "You look like Alexander O'Neal, go on stage, see what happens." Went on stage, lasted half the record, I got jumped on by all these screaming girl fans.
Yeah, girls, what do you think of him? Is he good? Yeah? Woo! So it's increased your pulling power, looking like Alexander O'Neal?
In a lot of ways, yeah.
So listen, Alexander O'Neal, come over here. It's increased Terry's pulling power being on telly as well. Now come over here. Because actually, the real Alexander O'Neal is in the studio. So, what would you like to ask to Alexander O'Neal? Because actually, could have been more light over here or something. You can't really see. The real Alexander O'Neal is actually in the studio. Actually, maybe we should have some more light. Can we have some more light? Maybe that's it. Okay. What would you like to ask him?
What does it feel like to be so mega famous? And what is the feeling like when all the screaming fans are there? How do you feel? What do you feel inside?
There you go, Alexander. What are you going to say to that?
Well, actually, one thing I can say, by the eyes, he kind of got it going on.
Thank
but,
you.
What do you...
It's a very flattering feeling to have people to care about you so much and to respect your work to the degree where they want to support you and to be loyal. And I just want to give that back as much as I can.
Well, Alexander, what do you think of this act here, this impersonation now? What do you think of it? You think
he got it going on. Yeah, we could be related.
Has he got the moves, though?
You like that?
Very, very much, very, very much. Long
Good.
distance.
All right, Terry, well, I guess I'll be hanging out in Ealing, listen to a few more tracks, so I'll see you next week.
I wanted to see if the guy had some of your nifty moves there.
None of mine, baby. You know all my nifty moves anyway.
Yeah, I wonder if I'd look alike if it'd get mobbed. I mean, have you actually seen any Alexander O'Neal lookalikes over in the States?
No, I get a lot of. I was in New York once, and when you're walking down the streets, and people think they go like, I know you're that, and I go like, I'm not him, but a lot of people tell me I look like him, you know, and they go like, let me see your driver's license, you know, and you're like, no, I'm not going to do that, but, you know, not that much, you know, I'm not, it's the first time, that was kind of different.
It speaks with a slightly different accent to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, a bit racy, but I can handle it. Am I getting better? I'm getting better.
It didn't fill the shoulders as well. It didn't fit the suit, so good. They're real. They're real.
What about that?
The convent girl.
Okay, well, I hope you're going to stay around with us today. Still to come on the show this evening, Bruce Dickinson and Lindy Layton, and of course Michelle will be here in a couple of minutes' time to talk to Kylie Minogue. See you then. Bruce Dickinson, who's doing all right, isn't he? Are you actually a heavy rock fan, Alexander? Because you were actually in a band, weren't you, that played kind of rock music for a while?
Yeah, and that was some time ago, you know, that my own rock and roll band, you know, in Minneapolis, black rock and roll band. It was quite interesting, you know. At the time, Minneapolis, I don't think, was ready for...
Have you got a few Iron Maiden records in your collection at home?
Put on the spot.
Not lately. Not lately. I like all kinds of music, though. I mean, if it's good music, you know, I like it. That's what.
Do you think it's sexy?
What, him?
Metal music?
Oh, no, God, no.
Well, Alexander's music to bonk by. I mean, that's the really good stuff, isn't it?
Does that translate across the Atlantic?
Sweaty, smelly body.
No. Like so.
I didn't mean you.
I did read somewhere that, you know, people were talking to you about possibly playing Otis Redding in a film of Otis Redding's life. Is that true?
Well, I've been up for the Otis Redding story, you know. It's been almost a couple of years now. But there are a few people that I'm in competition with for it. But, of course, you know, I'm the man for the job, right?
Can you actually sing like Otis Redding?
I do a fairly well interpretation. I need one more cup of coffee, one more cigarette, girl.
That's brilliant stuff, a bit of soul there, and I look forward to listening to your album, which I've just blagged a free copy of, All True Man. Thanks a lot for coming in, Alexander.
Thank you for having me.
And enjoy your stay over here, and thanks to you, Ellie, for coming in tonight. And I'll see you next week, Michelle.
See you then, Terry.
Okay, and next week, Amanda will be meeting EMF, and also Arnold Schwarzenegger. And in the studio, we've got Bomb the Bass and American Wild Boys Jellyfish. We'll leave you with 20-year-old Lindy Layton and her second solo single, Echo My Heart. See you next week.